Story of the fight, listeners. You are in for a treat. You are here with Ramiro. As always, my boy Will over here. And we have a special guest, Erick Ghost Pepper Gonzalez. How you doing, my man?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's a nice, cool night instead of a hot one, so I can't complain.
Love it, love it. So, for anybody that might not know, we have Erick here, who is MMA fighter, lightweight, fighting out of Southern California. Am I right, Erick?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, did you come up born and raised SoCal?
Yeah, actually, born and raised, first generation. My mom and my parents are both from Mexico, so I was the first one to be blessed with to be born in this the lovely state of Southern California.
Nice, man. What part of Mexico are they from?
My mom is actually from Toluca. My dad is from Oaxaca, so
Okay.
uh, it's a little bit spread out for the most part. Not too
Dude,
spread out.
fighters in Oaxaca, though.
Oh
Fighters,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Will, if you don't know, man, I have a lot of friends from Oaxaca too, and I'm telling you right now, they always want to throw down.
My,
Always.
my
I
dad
think
actually, I learned like a few years back when I was talking to my mom about my dad because I don't really talk to my dad, and he actually grew up with what was his name? Martinez, the one that knocked out Pacquiao.
Oh,
I think,
really?
yeah, he actually grew up with him, so I was a trip. It
oh
was a trip to
shit.
hear that. My dad was a scrapper too. He used to get a lot of like street fights. So my
Ah,
mom, my mom's always like, okay, I know where you got that side from because I have like completely everything else about me is like pretty much like my mom's like personality for the most part and everything. So it's kind of
oh,
funny.
that's awesome, man. So your dad was in a lot of street fights. You found out. How about you, man? How is it that you came about MMA?
Um, you know, I wasn't always like a fighter growing up. Was more of like a in the family. I was more like the baby. It's more like a little more of a crybaby. But wrestling, man, wrestling was actually what got me into MMA. When I was 13, I wanted to go play. I wanted to play football for high school. My brother was a wrestler. He was actually a team captain at the time, and this was like '06, '07, and uh, I went in for summer to go learn how to wrestle and I just fell in love with the sport, man. And then when I was in like 14, 15, I was watching UFC, and then I saw the fight against Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner.
Oh, man.
And if anybody that knows that fight, it was a war, and then they both ended up getting their contract, and I just kind of got inspired by like the entire like idea of fighting, and I got into my first fight when I was like a freshman against some like gangster wannabe kid because I was like I grew up in like South Torrance, after living in like an actual hood area like Lawndale, Hawthorne, close to Compton and stuff like that. So when I moved to South Torrance, it was a big change for me to like see personalities and people like that. So I got to my first fight, and then I kind of just fell in love with that rush, man, and the idea of being like the alpha male, and went into my first MMA class when I was 15.
Nice,
Where'd
man.
you do that at? That first class?
That first class was actually at a Triton gym inside of a Gold's Gym that nobody knew about. So it was like its own little area inside Gold's Gym. I went right upstairs, and then I got experience my first kick from John Marshall at the time. Kicked the shit out of my leg, and it fucking hurt, man. I'm not even gonna bullshit you. I was like trying to be I was like not trying to be like a little pussy about it, so I just kind of walked it off. But it was probably funny. After that, I was like my leg was sore for like 5 days.
Damn. That's so
Dude, so
funny.
the nickname though, Ghost Pepper. Where does that come from? Because that's not a very common nickname.
No, man. My family ran a restaurant. It was called Habaneros Pepper at the time, and I used to run it I ran it for about a year by myself when my mom got sick, and me and my buddy took over. And but like the way the name worked was we were like sitting around, and I had my family at the time. We came over. We had to close down for the day, and we're all eating together. My uncle came through and had some ghost peppers, and he started laughing. He's like, "You want to eat these?" And I was like, "What?" Because I love eating peppers in general. So I used to eat them a lot more when I was younger. But as I got a little bit older, I don't eat them as much. But I still like dicing around with some spicy food. But anyways, yeah, man. So he roasted up the pepper, and he's like, "You won't eat these." And then I just fucking grabbed it from him, and I ate the whole thing. And dude, I just started getting the hiccups. Face started all completely red. I couldn't breathe. I started like fucking panicking almost. my mom. So I ran into the kitchen, freaking just grabbed some orange juice and some milk and just started chugging it. I kind of just didn't forget that, like that feeling of like eating a ghost pepper, and I'm like, man, that's just like it's deceiving, it's like super deceiving, like a little fucking pepper just fucks you up, and I kind of liked it, and I liked the way it sounded, and it just kind of carried on because I was still like in my amateur days, and I didn't know what my nickname wanted to be, but I knew I was serious about it, and it kind of just like stuck with me. So I'm like, because this guy that was with us at the time, he's like, "Hey man, why don't you call yourself Ghost Pepper?" He's like, "You don't look like a fighter. You're pretty different." He's like, kind of suits you, and it's like, and it's a pretty good marketing, like kind of name. Like people hear that, they're not gonna forget it. And he's like, and if you make an impact, people really won't forget it. So I pretty much how I got into that, and that's how the name of Ghost Pepper came to me.
That's a much better story than most people have for their nicknames.
I haven't heard many, to be honest, but I could say I almost died to a ghost pepper. So, and now I can still eat one now, but it'll still mess me up.
We were talking about it before too. You know how like Tai Tuivasa does like the shoey after whenever he gets a win.
Oh, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
You start downing a ghost pepper right before the interview.
Dude, I actually seen this ghost pepper tequila. Wouldn't be a hell of an idea. Maybe get a sponsor with them and just fucking take a ghost pepper shot of tequila.
There you go.
Oh man,
maybe something like that.
That sounds insane.
The shoey is definitely a good one for sure because people love that shit.
Yeah.
So, does the family still have the restaurant?
No, man. We actually ended up selling it. I couldn't run anymore. I ran it for about a year, like I said, a little bit more than that, and I just couldn't take like the 10-hour shifts, 11-hour shifts a day on top of training. And my mom was sick at the time, and there's nobody else to run it. So we ended up just selling it, and that was pretty much the history of that. But it was a Mexican vegan restaurant, believe it or not. We had Mexican food, and then we also had Mexican vegan options, which was basically Mexican food but vegan style. So I met a lot of people, and we had number one spot for about like 3 years because we were almost open for 4, and then before we sold it, and we had a lot of following on it. So we've had a lot of people like kind of like text my mom, call my mom about it, seeing like we were going to reopen because vegans are big in the South Bay, especially South Torrance area, Hermosa Beach area, Redondo Beach area, kind of like those areas. People love vegan food, man. It's crazy. They die over it and they go crazy over it. So we thought about reopening it one day, maybe for catering, but I mean, at this point, I just don't see it, man. It's a lot of stuff when it comes to running a business like that. Restaurants,
for sure.
Money, licenses, and having people come and check out the spots and make sure it's clean and all this stuff, blah blah blah. It's just a bunch of stuff to it.
Yeah, the inspections, the Surf Safe certifications, all that other fun stuff. It's a lot of work, man.
So yeah, man, we ended up selling it, and I miss it sometimes, man, because I did meet some really really cool people, and but at the same time, I'm trying to follow my dreams and follow my passion. So I had to choose, and I made my decision, and kind of just didn't look back after that.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's working out for you so far, my man. So
yeah, I mean, if I wasn't good at it, I wouldn't continue. And I would hope someone would tell me, be like, hey, man, it's like we love you, but you probably shouldn't be fighting.
Were you dipping more into the Mexican vegan or non-vegan when you were working there?
I'm not vegan, man. I'm a straight carnivore. I grew up with Mexican, eating food and actual meat, and nah, man. But I did dabble with it. I actually tried to go vegan for like a little bit just to try it out.
For like 2 weeks?
I lasted a month.
Damn, man. That's a long time. So you did it for a month.
Yeah, I did it for a month, and then I just had to pick. I ended up eating meat right after that. I can't do this. I don't like this.
What was
the
your
idea
first
of
meal?
like my first meal. We had like taquitos and flatas that were made with like soy chorizo, and there was like fake asada kind of meat. I forget the name of the actual brand because it was like years ago, but it was there. I actually liked the soy chorizo taquitos that we used to have, and they had this like kind of like potato with fake cheese, and that was rolled up in a taquito as well, and I used to really like those a lot.
That sounds pretty
It's kind
good.
of fattening still though,
That
just
does
like
sound
the
good.
idea because it's still like deep fried. You know what I mean? So it's like, how healthy really is that? And then like I learned a lot about vegan food, so it's like it's not to me. I don't see it as healthy unless it's like you're eating straight plant-based like stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Because
at that point, it sounds like it's still really processed to make it
yeah,
taste a certain
exactly.
way, or so I mean, whatever floats people's boats. So if you want to be
Yeah,
vegan, go be vegan as long as you're not hurting anybody. But
yeah.
dude, I'm the same way you are, bro. Like I grew up in a Mexican household, so the carne asada, dude,
Oh yeah.
menudo, pozole, like all those foods,
Yep.
like I can't go without it, man.
Yeah. No, I absolutely cannot. And I mean, like, but I do like when it comes to like plant-based stuff, like my protein stuff. That's the only thing I drink and or I like have, or like
Really?
if it's organic and stuff like that. So I don't like when it comes to like drinking any sort of protein, it has to be or like some sort of organic or plant-based type of deal, or else I don't really mess with it because I just don't trust a lot of products, and I'm not trying to ever get popped for like something so stupid as something like that. You know what I mean? Because I've heard of fighters that get, maybe they do know, maybe they don't know, but like it's just to play it safe. It makes it a lot easier. Plus, it
Well,
makes me lose
plus,
weight super quick.
yeah, I feel like the non plant based stuff will get like real sluggish feeling. Also, like there's
Yeah,
something
you
weird
feel
about
like
it.
bigger. It makes you. I don't know. It's more to it, But when it's like super plant based and stuff like powderized, like vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, it like your body takes it in easier, and then I feel like I'm getting more of the nutrients and vitamins that I need after that.
Yeah. Well, what was your first meal back when you left being a vegan?
Oh,
Did you
dude, a
just go
freaking
super hard?
bro! I had like a big ass piece of carne asada. Then you had like rice and beans, and I was just eating my tortillas, making tacos and stuff like that. And of course, I had my salsa because I really like habanero salsa, and then I put that on it. I was just like, dude, I ate like 3 pieces, and I was like, all right,
Dude, that's the
like,
thing. That's the thing. Whenever you go on a specific diet and you decide to come off, you like come off, come off. You know what I
oh
mean? Like
yeah,
I'll go keto for a little bit, and I'm like, oh man, I like the results. Let me dabble a little bit now that I'm doing all right, and then all of a sudden it's just over.
you
It's
find
done.
yourself like 1 hour later, you're still eating.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so man, that being said, like, because you fight again in the lightweight division, right?
Yeah,
155.
yeah.
What do you usually walk around at?
I walk around at 175, 177, somewhere around there. Um, before I started this camp, I was actually like at 184, but I was eating fucking super fat, and I was lifting pretty heavy. So I got up to like 184, and it was 3 months before the camp. And then I was like, okay, it's time to start dieting and eating correctly. So I cleaned out some of the meals, and then I went down to 175. And then 2 months later, 2 months before the fight, I got down to about like 173, but I was staying pretty steady until like a month and a half before the fight, and then I started going down to like 167, 68.
Mm.
And then I lost this fight. I only lost about 10 pounds of water for this fight, and I was already water loading 2 months prior to it, so I was
Oh
still
wow.
super, super hydrated.
Oh,
Nice.
so then the weight
What?
cut was super smooth.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I cut 5 pounds in the morning, slept for a few hours, played some video games, and then went and cut the rest of like 3 or 4 more pounds because I floated off a pound anyway, so I only had to cut like 3.5 pounds, 4 pounds, pretty much. Uh, and then just slept off the rest. Woke up in the morning and I was already at 155.
Oh, nice.
That's
What about
awesome.
during the fight? What do you get back
Was
to?
that once I woke up the next day at 173, which is the heaviest I ever got. That's a lot of weight. But I fought at 171.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
Yeah,
was
that's
that
something super
was two
interesting.
weeks ago. So
I
All
feel
right.
like people
So
don't really talk about like. I wish more fighters talked about like what they actually weighed during the fight because I think it's most people are interested in that.
oh, absolutely. A lot of these fighters, dude, you got Khabib that probably blows up to like 180 probably.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, because that man holds a lot of fucking muscle.
a lot of
Uh,
tiramisu too.
yeah, right. But yeah, man. I used to only blow up to 167, 68, and then I started lifting a lot more and eating a little bit more differently. Uh, and like I said, man, I blew up to 173 the next morning, and then I kind of overloaded on the carbs. But by
Mm.
the time the fight came around, I was at 171, and I'm so used to walking around the one over 170 that like I just felt like really solid, man. It's probably the best I ever felt, and I didn't feel too light, I didn't feel too heavy, and I still touched this fast, and I felt strong. So I definitely liked walking around that weight. So I'm gonna keep going, doing what I'm doing, and because I have a feeling it's gonna help me a lot in the future, especially when I hopefully make my debut here soon onto the UFC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
hopefully soon, right? So, if you don't mind transitioning into a little bit of the fights, right? Some of the fights that you've had recently, and some of the things I've noticed, man, watching your fight. So, when you fought the Korean gangster, One Sick Park. By the way, that's an awesome name. First of
Yeah,
all,
that
One
is.
Sick Park. Dude,
Not
I
you
the
thought he
Korean
seem
should have kept
gangster.
that instead of Korean gangster.
yeah, right. His name alone is all good. But you seem so calm when the fight started, man. Like, where does this calmness come from when you're in the middle of a fist fight?
um, I don't know, man. I just like dude, I've been to a lot of street fights when I was younger, like a
Mm.
lot, like too many, and I've never really physically got hurt in a fight. So like, I think the idea of just wearing gloves kind of like relaxes me a little bit more. I'm already in there to fight anyways, and I trained with some of the best, man. You know, I've trained with current UFC guys, and that's who I started training with as an amateur, and they were, you know, fucking levels ahead of me, so I caught up pretty quick. And knowing that, I think that calms me down a little bit more. And then, you know, I watch footage and stuff like that, so I know what to expect in a fight. Um, a lot of fighters don't change much of their game, you know, in two fights or one fight. It takes, you know, about over a year to 2 years to really change the style and the way they really fight and the way they bang it out. But, you know, I think that that's pretty much where I get my calmness from, man. I've been in too many street fights that like now that I'm in just a regular fight with you know, televised and it's completely controlled. There's
Yeah,
some rules that are applied. Uh, and I fucking just I love the energy in the night, so it just like fuels me, man. And like, you know, it does take like that first punch to really wake me up and start fighting like a beat, like, you know, like a savage. But um, no, I don't think I've ever. I think the only fight where I was like super like fucking like nervous as shit was my title fight for Combate,
against
when I
Rafa.
fought against Rafa. And yeah, man, I don't know what it was, but that was the loudest freaking place I've ever had. I couldn't hear my coaches, and it was just a lot at stake, you know.
Dude, that was actually
Yeah.
perfect transition, right, into my next question, because I was going to say, watching that fight, one, it's in Mexicali, right? So this
Yep.
guy essentially has home field advantage, if you want to call it.
Yep.
Uh,
Absolutely.
but dude, there's foghorns going in the background. There's rattlers going in the background. I was like, bro, it sounds like a soccer match.
Oh, dude.
How much of that has an impact on you while you're in the middle of the fight?
Well, I mean, everybody was against me, so you know. But like, you know, what I do respect a lot about Mexicali too is like, and like that type of like energy is like, it's like, there was not really any booze. It was more like they were just fucking hyped for a fight. You know what I mean? It was like the energy was unreal. Like I said, I didn't hear my coaches the entire fight. I couldn't hear them whatsoever. I didn't hear the first round fight. When the first round stopped, I had no idea it was over. I thought I won the fight actually. And even my coach thought we won the fight because I was teeing off on
Yeah.
him, and then I thought the ref stepped in to cut it off the fight, and so I went back into my corner thinking I won, and then I realized I didn't win, so then I had to come back into my
Ah,
into fight
Uh,
mode after feeling like just relaxed, you know what I mean?
that
And then
adrenaline dump. Yeah.
yeah, and it did play a part, you know what I mean? But it was sick, man. It was sick, and definitely like the most nervous I've ever been for a fight, for sure,
dude,
without a doubt.
30 more seconds in that first round or less, and it would have been stopped for sure because you were teeing off on him.
Yeah, he's a tough man, dude. He's tough. He's super durable, dude. I know. I definitely watched his first two fights as well in the UFC, so that was pretty cool
Yeah.
to see. Unfortunately, he didn't catch a win, but hopefully he gets that third fight and you know he turns it around. So nothing but respect to him.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you could tell even just from his two fights in the UFC, the guy's like durable as hell. Like,
Hey, he takes some hits, man. He's taking hits and still walking forward. You know, it's a you gotta respect it. I love that type of style. I mean, that's how I do it, man. And but you know, I don't hold as much muscle, and my cardio is a hell of a lot better. So, in my opinion, you know, I fucking run like a freaking like a racehorse, if not better. You know.
For sure. Now, when we're talking about, you being calm and everything, you've been in a lot of street fights, which helps you in a controlled environment. Is there any rituals or anything you do before you actually like step out in the octagon or before you make your way out?
um, I usually like to take like a 30-minute nap before I warm up. So I usually will like just go do my own thing and just like lay down somewhere, and then I get really sleepy anyways before a fight, which is weird. I like to take it as a good sign now. I told my coach this after this last fight. I was like, I starts wrapping my hands, man, and you think I'd start like getting excited, but I start getting fucking sleepy, dude. Like I start getting like real tired, and I was telling my coach, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take a nap after this, and then I take my 30-minute nap, wake up, throw on some Kill Switch Engage, and then throw on some hip hop, and then throw on some techno, and then that's usually how I go about as far as music genre. And then after that, it's just like I'm ready to go. I'm all warmed up because I've been stretching and kind of moving around, and then I'll just start moving around the back with my coach or my other corner, and that's pretty much the ritual to it, man. There's nothing else really to. There's no secret remedies. Everybody's so different. You got your sleepers. You got people that are just walking in the back, pacing left and right every like 10 seconds. You got people that are just jumping around. You got people that are sitting and listening only to music in the corner in a chair, ignoring everybody. It's so many different personalities. It's crazy.
Do you like to like get like a first round in backstage, or do you like to kind of go in more fresh to the fight?
No, absolutely not. No, I like to go in more fresh. I feel like that drains you. I see guys
That's what I
go
would
all
always
crazy.
think.
I see guys go crazy on the mitt work, and I'm like, dude, they're gonna burn themselves out. I don't know I don't know if that's a good thing. And I'm always curious, how guys have that energy for that. I'm like, I'm gonna save all that energy for the fight.
Yeah,
All
because
right, so
that's what you would think, right? But then some people are like, "Yeah, I need to like break the sweat in before we start." I'm like, "Okay."
well, dude, I think of like Mayweather, like all the times that I've seen him, the wrapping his hands and everything, and he's like, I feel like he's similar to you, where he's almost looks like he's falling asleep. He's just sitting there, just waiting for the actual fight to come up. So man, you're right. Everybody's just completely different. Depends on the fighter.
Yeah, because yeah, like definitely, man, I absolutely agree. But I definitely I like being like as calm as possible before a fight. I don't like to be like super amped up and crazy because I feel like that does play a big role, and you start getting adrenaline dumps a lot quicker. And like maybe like that's a mental thing as well, where they need to hype themselves up because they're
Mm.
not like they're not thinking they're gonna win. I don't know,
Mhm.
man. There's a whole bunch of mental shit behind like fighting and like any sport. Like you got to be mentally ready before we step in there because that's where you really truly get defeated is there before anything else.
Yeah, that's a great call, man. That's a great call. So, you have 19 professional fights under your belt, if I remember correctly. That's not counting the amateur. So, you got a lot of fights, man. What's been your favorite city that you fought in?
Favorite city? Um, I gotta say right here at home, man. When I fought Wansig Park, man, that was probably the coolest venue. I was at USC, the Galen Center, and so much space, and a lot of people showed up. It was a really good turnout. Um, and I Mario Lopez was there. Oscar De La Hoya was there. They saw me got to fight, and I know
Okay.
they were rooting for me because I'm the Mexican versus the Korean. You know what I mean? So like to have like celebrities like that watching you, and I looked up to Oscar because he's a super dope fighter, a dope boxer,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feed off that type of shit where I'm like, fucking hit me, you know what I mean? Let's scrap, and then I'm gonna keep walking though. So who's basically who has the harder head, who's stronger mentally. So it's pretty cool, man, to have like that, to be able to have someone like that watch you, and I thought that was probably the coolest thing, coolest experience for sure.
Dude, if Oscar De La Hoya is there, it's lit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's going down. It's going down. No, man, man, but I feel like all your fights are bangers, man. They're so much fun. They're so exciting. One of the things I've noticed with you too, man, if you get caught with a shot, like your hands go down, a smile comes up on your face, and you start just bobbing and weaving with your hands down. I'm like, oh God, what's going on, dude? But it seems like you're having fun.
Oh, dude, yeah. Um, Even I tell some of my teammates, man, if you're gonna go in there, have fun. Number one thing, have fucking fun, man. Because if you're doing this because like you know what I mean, you want to make some money, you got it all wrong. This ain't the sport just to make money. It's gonna take some time before you get there. But I love having fun in there, bro. Like when I get hit with something, even if it's not even a good hit or a bad hit, I always keep the poker face on. You gotta have the poker face. Um, But like you said, man, I do have fun in there, and I like to just, and I think it fucks with people, like especially when they're hitting you with some fucking really good hits. I've been hit with some good hits, bro, and I just look at them and I smile. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm about to hit you back right now, and it fucks with people's heads, man. And I think it's even like I think when I fought Wansick Park, man, a great example. Like he hit me with like a combination. I just looked at him, smiled, and then he hit me with like two more, and I just kept, and then like I just ran, I started walking forward, swinging on him, and then I shortly dropped him right after that. But I could just
Yep.
imagine how mentally it could fuck with a guy's head when someone's just doing that and still walking forward, and you still have your cardio going and stuff like that.
Well, they're probably wondering what am I gonna have to do to put this guy
Yeah,
out? Like I hit him with my best shot, and he's smiling, coming at me.
yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
What do you think about the Bobby Green style, where every time it gets hit, he just shakes his head? He's like, nah.
I mean, everyone is different. You know what I mean? But like, if you get wobbled and you're doing that,
Yeah.
there's a fine line. There's a fine line. Um, I think that like just smiling and just putting your head down, because I'll do it, but I'll put my chin down. You know what I mean? So I'm ready for the
Yeah.
next hit. Um, and then I started just rolling, because I mean the part of the like having my hands down, it makes it easier for me to just move left and right, and getting out of a way of a punch and then returning with something back. But I do like it, man. I do like the guys taunt their players like that. Even when Sean, what is it, Sugar Sean was fucking doing a
yeah.
little basketball shit or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, damn, you're ballsy for doing that, man. That's super disrespectful for your opponent. But hey, you know what? Tell me that crowd didn't like it, and
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
that's what fighting's about. You got to be an entertainer too, as much as you are a fighter. That's how you make fights happen. That's how you make them exciting. That's how you get people to want to watching you, and you know, there's nothing more else
Exactly.
to it.
Exactly. I mean, and when you talk about, getting the UFC's attention, also, that those
Mhm.
are some of the ways you do it, man. And again, when you had that giant smile on your face, and even hearing the announcers. By the way, Will, I watched the fights in Spanish for Combate Americas, and let me tell
Same.
you,
And I
dude.
was just like, I don't know.
But dude, I don't care. Even if you don't understand, dude, that shit's so
No, but the
exciting when
energy.
they get all
Yeah,
hyped.
the energy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, it's so funny. And the way they talked about you, man, it sounded like you were one of the darlings of Combate Americas, man, because they were all up on your nuts.
Oh yeah, dude. I think that I've been with Combate for a while, man. I was with them for like fuck, man. Like I want to say like 5 years. 5 years out
Wow.
of my like career, majority of my fights are from Combate, man. But they also gave me the most like fucking cover, man. The most media cover. They brought me up so I could be known in television. Like that's how I got a following in Peru, down in Mexico. I've had people from Greece hit me up. I've had like different people around the world that have messaged me, and it's just like when you make an entertaining fight, that's when people want to watch you. Just like we said earlier, it's cool, man. Like Kobate definitely puts guys in the spot, and if you're an entertaining fighter, they're gonna love you more.
Love it. I love it. And recently, out of Combate into LXF,
Hmm.
right? Like you fought
Right.
Samuel Alvarez in LXF, where you won by decision. Now, let me ask you, did you get to work directly with Sean Merriman at all in this case? What was that like? How was the LXF team? How do you like it?
I've actually fought for George, who's the matchmaker. Shout out to him. I
Okay.
mad respect to him. He's actually got me a pretty sick gig coming up, so he's definitely gonna want to hear this. But anyways, but no, man. Lights out extreme. Out lights out.
Yeah, lights
I
out
can't.
extreme
Yeah,
fighting.
extreme fighting. What do you call it? They're awesome, man. The team's great. I don't get to work with Sean that much. I only saw him at the weigh-ins. That's about
Mm.
it. But super nice guy, man. I was taking a piss next to him when we went to the bathroom, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I was like, so we were like chatting up while we are taking a piss. It was kind of funny. So that's how.
One of the
That's
best
how
places to have a conversation,
I
huh?
was like, you catch a guy in that type of vulnerability. We're both taking a piss, like, you know what I mean? But anyways, like, I was just like, hey, man, I don't think you recognized me at first either. And I was like, hey, I'm the main event of the night. I just want to, thank you for having me on the show too, because he has a big part of this too, man. He's getting a lot
Yeah.
of media coverage for us fighters. And, so it's fucking huge, bro. So I had to give him a thank you. And he was a super respectful guy, man. Super cool dude. Um, but the lights out team's awesome. I fought for them before. My last professional fight was with them when I fought Shohei Yamamoto, which you don't know who he is. He's under the Josh Barnett's gym,
Mm.
so that's one of his like little prodigies. And I believe now he's at CMMA. But That guy was like a Kyokushin karate world champ.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like a fucking street fighter Mexican guy that he was fighting, and then I ended up fucking beating him on the feet, beating him on the ground, and I was expected to be the biggest underdog of the night, and I finished him in the third round with a TKO. So it's like, that the Lights Out puts anybody that watches Lights Out Extreme Fighting, man, best promotion you can watch. A lot of fucking great fighters come out of that place, so definitely keep your eyes out if you're from the LA area.
Yeah, and they love you too, man. So recently on one of your posts, they put down one of the comments from Lights Out XF was, "You have a home here."
Yeah.
So they love you, man.
Yeah, I George and the team is great, man. They've been nothing but the best team, dude. They love putting on shows, and it's always a sold out. Dude, the show freaking sold out in like 2 weeks or less, man. Like they were asking me for tickets back because they wanted to sell them, and I was like, dude, no, like my are all sold. Like I've sold over like 100 seats in like a small, like it wasn't even a small venue, it was a decent sized venue, and it was just like it was sick, man. Like it was a good time, and then crowd was super loud, and I bring a crowd too all the time, so it's a good time, man. I love that. Lights Out, man. I'll fight for them again. If I didn't go into the UFC within the next 3 months, man, I'm gonna ask for that title fight, and I'm sure I'll get it. So we'll see what happens. A lot can happen. So like, I really want to get into the UFC. That's the main goal, and I want to hit it before I hit 30, and I'm 29 right now, so I got about like 6 months, a little more than that.
There we go, man. There we go. All right, so when we take a look at just you fighting, right? A very small percentage of people have the balls to do what you do, which is walk into a cage and you get into a fist fight. On top of that, you turned it up another notch. And not only did you fight in a cage, but you proposed to your girlfriend, Diana, now fiance, after a fight. Bro, that takes a lot of balls, man.
I was actually, you know what? Now that I freaking think back, I guess that Rafa and that feeling was probably the closest feeling, because I didn't wake up until like halfway in the first round, like where I felt like finally like I'm a fighter, like I'm bad. I'm like, oh shit, I'm fighting right now. I have to win this, and then getting close to getting armbarred almost. That was like my heart almost dropped. But yeah, that was cool. That was cool, man. I had it planned out for like a little while now, but I didn't know what fight I wanted to do it. And she's an amazing woman. So she's an amazing girl. She's definitely have helped me so much in my journey in MMA already. So I'm super happy, super excited, and I know she was super excited, because she got a nice size ring, and she's definitely happy to be wearing that around.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So she's been with you through most of your career?
5 years now, going this year.
Wow.
So, majority of my pro career. Yeah, and I've been a pro for I think 6 years now, a little bit over, going on 6 years, 7 years almost. So yeah, majority of my career, and it's been there since the first year we met. She's been to every single one of my fights, has never missed one. She's been to Peru when I fought 3 fights in one night in a tournament for
I was going to ask about that.
Three fights in one night.
Guadalajara, Mexicali, Tijuana. All my fight here in LA. I fought in Monterrey this year for Naciones, which is a brand new promotion in Mexico. Great freaking promotion, man. Gotta love fighting in Mexico, dude, because then after you're done with your fight, everything is cheap, so you can just go have drinks for all night for like $20, and you're like straight.
That's awesome,
you
man.
Complain.
Did you see? Speaking of proposals post fight, did you see Benson Henderson when he proposed after his fight?
I slightly remember it. I think that's where I got the idea from, was where I didn't remember the fight or who it was, but I know I saw it on a cage one day, and I totally forgot who it was. I didn't realize it was Benson Henderson.
Yours went a lot better.
Did she say no to his?
No, I mean, she said yeah, but it was after. It was after he won that split decision over Gilbert Melendez.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were booing when he was like dropping down on the knee, and it was pretty hard to watch.
Oof.
So yours was better than that, at least.
Was it a hometown? Was it hometown for him, or was it for?
I'm not sure where it was, but I know
it had to be at someone else's hometown.
Yeah, well, I know Gilbert Melendez was like a big favorite going into it, and a lot of people thought he won.
It was a close fight, though. I'm not gonna.
But also, you put on exciting fights. So there's no
Exactly.
way the crowd is going to boo you. You were setting yourself up for success leading into that.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
3 rounds of domination. And throwing a hell of a lot of elbows and taking some hits. It was a good show, man. It was definitely a good night, good fight, and a good night, man. And the guy was a brown belt, so that was definitely kind of brought my confidence up more, without a doubt. Facing a guy and calling me out on my blue belt, and it's just MMA jiu-jitsu is always different. So, ladies and gentlemen, so that's definitely
Yeah, plus you
definitely
were pretty dominant on top in that fight. So that's gotta
yeah.
feel good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I mean, if you're a professional fighter, I mean, you're rolling around with like top grapplers, and so it's like I roll around with really good grapplers, and then even with the brown belts and black belts, always you're always gonna. I'll admit it, man. I get tapped. You know what I mean, and that's nothing wrong with that. When you're training, and that's the humbleness of fighting. You want to lose to learn from it. So, what a better way to lose in training, and when you're grappling and stuff like that, and you start throwing punches and elbows and stuff like that, and that's when shit gets a little different for as a complete grappler versus a guy that just that who lives for that type of shit, wants to fucking hurt you, and that's
Yeah.
where I shine the most. I start hitting you, and then boom, jiu-jitsu goes out the window because you want to defend.
Makes
Yeah, well,
sense.
look at the last Ryan Hall fight, right?
Oh, dude,
Where I mean, it was just
he kept
it
hunting
was
for the
rough.
leg, kept hunting for
It was
that
rough.
leg, and then he got
Yeah,
knocked out finally. I was like, dude, he's gonna get knocked out, and then it finally happened. I was like, well, he's kind
yeah,
of asking for it.
yeah. I think he said that he broke his hand right in like the first exchange, so that's why he kept going for it. But I don't know.
I
Tough to
actually
watch
didn't
though.
even hear that. I didn't even hear that. So
Yeah, tough man. But I don't know. Ryan Hall with a nasty double leg would be fun to watch. But we'll get
I
there
think
maybe.
if he learns how to get in there with some striking, I think he could do. Obviously, then he could play his game the way he wanted to, because he really just needs to like hit the ground. And once they hits the ground, and he's got some like hold of you.
Yeah,
That's when he starts shining. That's when he starts shining, and But we'll see how much fight he has left in him. Because that was a pretty tough loss. I think he was that a loss streak. No, he lost. He won his one before that, right? I think.
yeah. I think that was his first loss in the UFC at least.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's not
Okay.
too many people that
Right?
have been wanting to fight him either. So
Yeah.
No.
it's a tricky problem to solve. But I mean, it seems like they figured it out on this last one. So
Hey man, just
Yeah.
stuff the takedowns and stuff the
yeah.
takedowns or get out of the way.
So Eric, if everything works out according to plan, right? What's next for Ghost Pepper? What do the next few months look like?
If everything goes according to plan, make my UFC debut. Uh, smash this guy, make it a fun, make it bloody, and make a statement in the UFC. Um, I really don't care about the fight unranked guys, so I'll make my way through the unranked guys before I get to the ranked guys. I think that's almost a better route, because then your contract, you get more fights and you get more money. So I'm only 29, so I still got some years in me, several years in me, I would say, and I just want to become a champ, dude. I want to be the next champ, and I want to be able to fight these top ranked guys and take that belt home, put it on my gym wall, and then you know, that's really my ultimate goal. Once I get to that goal, I'll think about retirement, and because I'll have a name for myself, and then eventually, I want to start teaching more, and I want to be able to have my own team or just be a head coach and help these guys up and come, and start taking some more belts from other places, and slowly but surely, kind of like that route, man. I want to be a coach myself one day.
That's awesome, man. So you see yourself being involved in mixed martial arts in some way, shape, or form going forward.
Yeah, man, it's definitely changed my life for the better. So why not help other guys, change their own lives? And I think that I can help a lot of guys too. I have a lot of knowledge in the game, and I have a great story, and how I came up. I wasn't always a freaking good kid. You know what I mean? I was troubled kid, and made some stupid decisions. And I think that all that and the story that I have to bring with the table on the table to help these younger cats when I get older is going to be helpful, and to make it into a UFC champ level, that's fucking a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? That changes lives. And then I want to, if anything, I kind of do want to commentate. So I want to get into some commentating. I did it for Combate over at Access TV, and that was a hell of a lot of fun. So I would love to keep doing that as well. Turn into some sort of commentating or work through the UFC or something like that. Even if it's not for them, for a different organization.
Well, man, you speak very well, you know, so you might be able to pronounce a lot of names better than Juliana Pena has recently. You know, like he's laughing. No, because we one of our friends of the podcast over here, Landry Ward, Lone Star Kid, and she kept on calling him Laundry the entire time, and I was like, what is she doing though?
Oh,
the entire fight.
Hey, it happens, man.
It happens.
You know, but I do, you know, you got to pronounce some names right, you know. I do agree with that. I have no judgment. I love Juliana Pena, man. She's awesome. She's an animal, man. She's so sick, man. But yeah, man. To be honest, I will probably pronounce names a lot better because I'm bilingual. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I think she's bilingual too, though. I don't know how bilingual is she. She is. I've never had a full conversation in Spanish with her, so I could be wrong. But I'm bilingual, and Combate actually helped me keep a lot more of my Spanish. Yeah, shout out to them too.
Hey, for real though, if you don't use it, you lose it, man. Like you don't really think of it that way because you grow up speaking Spanish. But when you go so long without speaking on a regular basis, all of a sudden some of these words start escaping, and you're like, wait, how do you say that again? It happens a lot.
Hey, my brother was born in Mexico, and I speak better Spanish than he does.
There you go, man. There you go.
Like you said, and he hangs out with white guys all day. By the beach, skateboarding.
Well, dude, I'm talking to Will all the time, you know, so I lose my Spanish.
Put you on the spot, bro.
Hey, Will, do you have anything else?
No, man. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you guys, man. This been so. I've been having a blast, bro. So
yeah,
I apologize about freaking making it another day longer, but I appreciate you guys for making the time for me.
It was worth the wait, man. This has definitely been a very, very fun interview. And if you don't mind hanging on a couple minutes on right after Eric, but definitely want to give a special shout out there to Marcos for setting this up for us. Yeah. Upgrade MG, right? Man, hopefully when we post this video, we'll ask everybody to tag Dana White, Sean Shelby, anybody that they can, so they get to see you and see what you're all about. And again, man, when you have fighters going up that are good fighters, it's one thing, but when they also bring a personality with them, fans are drawn to them, man, and I think you have it. So,
yeah, you got to be entertaining and a fighter. So,
well, best of luck to you, man. You got friends and us over here in Story of the Fight, right? So for everybody, I'm Ramiro. Will,
real quick, is there anything you want to plug and like promote?
Yeah, man. A big shout out to George and the team at Lights Out. Sean also for having me in the last fight and allowing me to propose in the ring. He helped me out a lot, telling me how much TV time I had. So a big shout out to George. And and I got a sick job coming hopefully through him at Unbreakable Gym. Hopefully I'll be teaching some celebrities, and maybe that'll bring me some more spotlight, and we can make a UFC debut here sooner than later. And shout out to my team. Marcos, he's been with me since day one, changed my life around completely, financially, and keeping me stable. And my team, my Upgrade management team, just completely changed everything in the way I view management teams, just because I had a shit management team my first time. Shout out to you guys, man, for having me, and my team over at Fight Science, man, for making me the beast I am today. So super grateful for everybody around my life, and my new fiance as well.
Yeah. There we go. Well, best of luck both in the cage and outside of the cage there. And like I said, you have friends in us and, over here in Story of the Fight. Once you break into the UFC, hopefully we can get you back in shortly after.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a few people I got to hit up. I'll definitely be hitting you guys up because you guys made me have a blast, man. I really did have a good time.
Appreciate it, man. Well, everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of Story of the Fight.